A Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities is a historical novel by Charles Dickens that takes place during the turbulent years leading up to and during the French Revolution. The story explores themes of resurrection, sacrifice, and the struggle for justice, focusing on the experiences of several key characters in London and Paris. Main characters: Charles Darnay, a French aristocrat who renounces his family's oppressive legacy and seeks a new life in England. Dr. Alexandre Manette, a former prisoner of the Bastille whose mental state is fragile after his long imprisonment. Lucy Manette, the devoted daughter of Dr. Manette, representing compassion and love. Sidney Carton, a dissipated lawyer who struggles with his past, but ultimately finds redemption through love. Madame Defarge, a vengeful revolutionary who embodies the rage of the oppressed. Themes: resurrection. The theme of rebirth and resurrection is prominent, particularly in the character arcs of Dr. Manette and Sidney Carton, who both find new purpose. Sacrifice. Carton's ultimate sacrifice highlights the themes of love and selflessness, showcasing the nobility of his character. Social injustice. Dickens critiques the societal inequalities of his time, emphasizing the consequences of oppression and the need for revolution. Duality. The contrast between London and Paris, peace and violence, love and hatred, runs throughout the novel, reflecting the duality of human nature and society. The shadow of the past. In the late 18th century, London and Paris stand on the brink of monumental change. As the story begins, the famous line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times," encapsulates the contrasts of the era. Mr. Jarvis Lorry, a banker, travels to Paris with the mission of retrieving Dr. Alexandre Manette, a former prisoner of the Bastille. After 18 long years of confinement, Dr. Manette is released, but the psychological scars remain. Lorry meets Lucy Manette, Dr. Manette's devoted daughter, who believed her father was dead. Their reunion is bittersweet, as Lucy finds her father in a fragile state, obsessively making shoes his only outlet during his years of imprisonment. Together, they return to London, where Lucy becomes the beacon of hope for her father's recovery. Amid their new life, Charles Darnay, a French aristocrat, enters the picture. He renounces his family's oppressive legacy and seeks a fresh start in England. Over time, Darnay and Lucy fall in love, but their budding romance is complicated by Sidney Carton, a dissolute lawyer who finds himself drawn to Lucy. Despite his shortcomings, Carton develops a deep affection for her, yearning for redemption. The rising tensions as Darnay and Lucy marry and start their life together. The undercurrents of revolution begin to surface in France. The oppressed masses rise against the aristocracy, and Darnay feels the pull of his heritage. He bravely returns to France to help an old family servant, but his noble intentions soon lead to dire consequences. Darnay is arrested, accused of being an enemy of the people. Lucy and Dr. Manette rush to Paris, desperate to save Darnay. Dr. Manette's reputation as a former prisoner grants them some access, but the revolution is relentless. Darnay is eventually released, only to be arrested again, this time by the vengeful Madame Defarge, who harbors a deep-seated desire for revenge against the aristocracy. During this turmoil, Sidney Carton steps in with a plan that will change everything. In a moment of profound selflessness, he decides to sacrifice his life to save Darnay. The weight of his love for Lucy and his longing for redemption compel him to take this drastic step. The price of redemption. As the revolution reaches its climax, chaos ensues. Carton's plan unfolds, and he courageously switches places with Darnay in prison. On the eve of his execution, he reflects on his life, finding a sense of purpose in his final act of bravery. He visits Lucy one last time, knowing he will never see her again. In a powerful moment, Carton utters his iconic line, "It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known." His sacrifice resonates through time, a testament to the potential for redemption amidst the darkest of circumstances. As the dust settles from the tumultuous events of the revolution, a sense of justice begins to emerge from the chaos. The echoes of the past linger, but the hope for a brighter future prevails as the people of France look toward rebuilding their lives. In the end, A Tale of Two Cities weaves a powerful narrative of love, sacrifice, and the quest for justice, reminding us that even in the most turbulent times, the human spirit can rise above adversity, finding redemption and purpose amidst despair. Notable quotes. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. A Tale of Two Cities is the story of the contrast between the old and new worlds. It is a far, far better thing that I do than I have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. Thank you for listening. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Till we meet again.